Thank you very much, Dave. It's important to remember how we got here and how the rise of the far right has happened. It happens because mainstream politicians pander to the far right. When Gordon Brown apologises for calling a bigot, that is the thing that leads to the far right. We can't allow this to happen. We must challenge the mainstream politicians to challenge fascism wherever they see it and not pander to the racist right. When they talk about immigration, they're talking about getting rid of Muslims. When they talk, we're now at the stage where the only legitimate political conversation in the mainstream media about immigration is how to reduce the number of immigrants. I think that's disgraceful. I think immigrants contribute to our community massively, and I think we need to tell the mainstream politicians that when they say these things, they are leading to the rise of the far right, and then they cannot turn around afterwards and say, well, we don't support the SNP. Sorry, the SDL. I'm very sorry, Colin. I didn't mean that. Next up, we have Graham Smith, who is a student at Edinburgh University and also a member of the Unison National Executive Committee. Thank you.
Good morning, folks. First off, can I express my thanks to all of you who turned out in pretty much shite weather as it was this morning. So, excellent turnout is all I've got to say on that. Now, in Scotland, the Scotland that I know is very different to the Scotland that the SDL try and purport. The Scotland I know, you don't hate your neighbour because of the colour of their skin or where they're from. You hate them because they mow the lawn at 9 o'clock on a bloody Sunday morning. The hatred that they expose and that they produce is the same hatred that we've seen for decades long. The people that are on the National Front back in the 80s, the BNP through the 90s, this is their latest face, and it's a PR operation, and our job today is to expose them for the scum that they are. And I want to express my sentiments for the wide range of people that have came out here. Whatever your ideology, there's one thing that we can get behind, and that there is one Scotland, and it doesn't include a place for their bigotry, their sectarianism, their hatred, and that's why we have come together. Now, I'm not going to go on for too long, but what I will say is, in the words of a Scottish national anthem, we will send those bastards home to think again, and they'd better think bloody hard about it.
Thank you, Graham Smith from Unison NEC. I'd like to invite next to the stage Margaret Woods, who is from the Unite Against Fascism Scottish Committee. Thank you, Margaret.
Hi, folks. I'd like to thank you very much for turning out today. Most of the time we all have more pleasant things to do on a Saturday than have to look at and oppose Nazis. But I think it's incredibly important that we stand against these people. When you see what happened in Oslo, and when you see that that man had connections with the EDL, some of whom will be here today, along with the SDL, you understand exactly the violence, the hatred, and the death that these people actually need. Plenty of people think they're harmless. They're only interested in the poor, and they're only interested in aspects of religious argument. That is not true. In England, up and down the country, they have been going in and breaking up or attempting to break up trade union demonstrations violently. And if that rings a bell, it should, because that is how Hitler's people started, exactly how they started. That is what we have to stop now. Scotland is a country of immigrants and emigrants. We know through the history of our country the number of people who've had to leave this country to make a better life for themselves because it was impossible here at the time. Now we hold out the welcoming hand to others in other parts of the world who find themselves in this position. And we are proud to do that. And we do not wish to listen to anyone who wants to talk about these people, victimise these people because of the colour of their skin or because of their religion. What we say is, Anyone wants to come here, live here, work here, contribute to this society, they are welcome and they should not face racist Nazi violence. We have a long, proud history of standing for a welcome to everyone and for standing against Nazis. And I congratulate you all for turning out today to do so. But we do need to do more. They will stand in the elections, even though they're fractured and in a bit of a mess, they will stand in the elections at the council time. And these elections can be a bit dangerous because they're low turnout. We need an organisation across the country which can stop any of them even trying to get elected. Today, we financed the Speaker. We financed the Speaker to come up to Edinburgh recently. We financed a free bus through from Glasgow. We financed a great many activities up and down the country. Thanks to trade unions and their money, and thanks to ordinary people giving their money. I would ask you today, not just to contribute your presence today, but to ensure that we can go on fighting these people in every way we can. Join Unite Against Fascism Scotland. Give a little bit of money every month. Listen to what we're doing every month on the emails and the Facebook, and keep joining us. Keep up the fight. They're not going to pass today. They're not going to pass next week. Here, anywhere in Scotland, they are not going to pass at all. No passaran.
Thank you very much, Maggie. Having said that, I need everyone to be very quick. We've actually got a lot of time before we need to set off. So, what I think would be a good idea is if anyone here in the crowd would like to come and say why they're here today, what experience they have the SDL, please do just make yourself known and come up and you can have the microphone for a couple of minutes.